Welcome back to M&T Entertainment Podcast. My name is Marcus, and this is
Tony. All right, what's up, guys?
Today we'll be reviewing Netflix live action show One Piece. So join us as we discuss all 8 episodes of season 1. Tony, is this show any good?
Well, I don't know. We better find out.
So what is One Piece?
I mean, technically, I don't know what it is. Nobody really knows what it is. Nah, so One Piece is about pirates.
Okay, so One Piece is a treasure that was left somewhere by Gold Roger. He was the first pirate king, and he's hid this treasure, and nobody knows where he is. So you got all the pirates that's trying to find what this treasure is, and you got the main character named Luffy. Luffy. His full name is Money D. Luffy.
No, his name is Monkey D. Luffy.
Monkey D. Luffy. He had very good confidence that from the beginning that he wanted to be the king of the pirates.
One Piece, I mean, it's not new. The manga is based on a story by Eiichoro Oda. The manga has also been going on for a while. I remember reading the manga when I was a kid. I read it on Shonen Jump. You know, that was a long, like 100 years ago and all that stuff. And then they made an anime about it. And, you know, the anime is based on the manga. I watched it up to a certain point, but it got way too freaking long. It's like 1,000 episodes. You know, watching all that.
So for those who don't know what a manga is, like myself, because I'm not.
A manga is a comic, pretty much. Well, it's Japanese shit. So this is a Netflix live action adaptation of the anime. But I mean, this guy, he's never heard of it, so.
Yeah, so I haven't. So for somebody like me, myself, I never even heard of the anime, never heard of the comic books. I jumped into this very fresh, so you're gonna get a fresh opinion from me. It's not gonna be biased or anything. This is my total bias-free opinion of this show.
No, he's lying. He's sponsored by Big Netflix. So we're gonna do all 8 episodes, so there will be spoilers. You know, watch it before, or if you're interested, go ahead. If you already watched the anime, I mean, you pretty much know what it's about. Alright, the first season covers the East Blue Saga, both the anime and the manga, pretty much. There are big differences between the anime and the live action. They did a lot of stuff, like the pacing was different, the editing, the way they condense certain sections of the show.
Okay, so the first episode is called Romance Done.
Episode 1 covers anime episodes 1, 2, 3, and then the manga chapters 1 through 7. So if you've seen those and read those, you should be alright.
Okay, so first start off, I felt like in this first episode, it reminded me of Pirates of the Caribbean. Starts off with showing all the pirate ships. They're all in the ocean. Then you have this guy named Gold Roger, king of the pirates. And he hid this treasure, which everybody's going to want to try to find. It kind of goes back into the present.
Luffy is in his little dinky boat. His little small boat is sinking or something.
Okay.
Yeah, remember his boat is sinking.
His boat is sinking.
So his boat is sinking and he jumps into a barrel. It goes into a scene where like the pirates and stuff, some other pirates find the barrel, they pick it up. That's where it goes into Kobe.
So Kobe is this weird kid. He really wants to be a Marine. He's very naive, kind of like a wimp at this point. Like he doesn't really know what's going on. People been telling him what to do his whole life, and he just does it. Luffy's trying to give him a different way of thinking about that he should follow his own dreams. Stop letting people tell him what to do.
Yeah. The ship that Kobe is in is Albedo ship. Luffy is trying to get off the boat. He's trying to get a boat so he can get off and head to wherever they're trying to head off. He gets caught by Albedo. He ends up waking them up, and then a whole fight and everything goes down.
Who is Albedo, by the way?
Oh, it's some fat chick on her. It is.
Levita is another wanted pirate.
Yeah, she's a pirate. Some fat chick. She's like a fat, ugly ass pirate lady.
They even show you the wanted poster before they even introduced her, which I like that. I like how they did that for somebody like myself. And I like how they introduced each character. Well, the pirates that are wanted, they show their wanted posters and kind of shows their name. If you don't know their names when they first come off, it kind of shows who they are.
Yeah, so in the comics, Alvida is this like fat, ugly lady. I guess she thinks she's beautiful and stuff. She's actually not. She hates it when anybody ever mentions anything about it. She'll beat her own crew and she'll kill anybody that she doesn't like mentioning, I guess, her beauty and whatever. But yeah, no, she's fat and ugly. But
and when I noticed from piggybacking off of that, like she's very ruthless too. Like how she even killed this guy by hitting her with her mallet.
Yeah, she got a big old mallet. Luffy, he beats her up, like sends her flying off the ship. He uses his like stretchy man powers, and he like knocks her off the ship. They're headed off to land. They're gonna try to find some stuff. I think they mentioned it. So they take off on the lifeboat, and then from there,
Zoro?
yeah, Roro.
Ramona Zoro. Ramono Zoro. That's how his name is. There's a scene that opened up where Zoro fighting this. It's called Number 7. I guess was sent to kill him. And, yeah, and he has some great fighting skills.
Not yet though.
And I love how the 3 swords, because I was like confused why he has 3 swords, but he uses 2 out of the 3 swords to defeat this Number 7. He pretty much cuts the guy in half and then puts him in a bag.
Yeah, he stuffed his ass.
And also, I want to put in that he has like 3 rings on his ear. I thought that was very cool, like a good detail earrings in there. They're made of gold earrings. They're made of swords.
He did? I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, he does. Okay, so after that, wasn't he telling this kid named Kobe that he met about how he got his powers? It shows the backstory of monkeydluffy, how he got his powers. You can see, like, as a kid, he even thought he was going to be a pirate. He had very good confidence that from the beginning that he wanted to be the king of the pirates. He even got into arguments with his friend named Shanks, which is the guy he looked up to. Shanks would always tell him that he shouldn't want to be a pirate, but he wanted to be a pirate. He didn't let anybody tell him otherwise. So one day he finds this fruit, and he eats the fruit.
Shanks usually end up going to, I guess, wherever Luffy's village is. So Shanks he gets off the boat and they're unloading the treasure because Shanks is a pirate captain of his own crew. Luffy has been wanting to join Shanks. Because he wants to be a pirate. So Shanks and the crew, they're unloading all their treasure. He finds the fruit and hidden in a treasure box. Luffy is always hungry. He eats it, not knowing what it is. And then from there, he gets like weird powers.
He gets weird stretchy powers.
Yeah, he's a stretchy man. Shanks and his crew, they always go to the bar. They always chill at the bar. That's when these bandits run up in the bar and they're trying to get sake. They're trying to get alcohol. But because Shanks and his crew, they had already drank the bar out. He strolls up to the bar. He asks the waitress, Makino. He asks her for drinks, but she's like, no, we're out of sake. And then Shanks, he offers him my bottle. Go ahead, take mine. My bad, man. We drank the place out. You could take my drink. But the bandit isn't having any of that shit. He takes the bottle and he just breaks it. Luffy's there. He's watching this whole thing go down. But Shanks, he just picks up the bottle. After the guy broke it, he picks up the bottle. He tells the waitress girl, give me a mop. And he starts cleaning it up, right? Bandit guy, he's like, oh, since you like cleaning up so much, he just like makes a mess, spills the rest of the food that was on the countertop. But Shanks, he just laughs it off. Mm-hmm. He just laughs it off, and then the whole crew just starts laughing.
They just start laughing.
Yeah.
And then you got Luffy comes out of nowhere saying...
He's pissed.
He's really mad because he's saying, why are y'all laughing? Because he looks at that as being weak. He feel like they should have did more. They should have fought the guys instead of just letting the guys come in and just do whatever they want to do.
Like, he gets really mad.
Yeah, he accused Shanks of not being a man just because he didn't fight the dude back.
Yeah, a little kid.
Just a little kid. 10-year-old trying to accuse somebody, a man, about not being a man. I found that very interesting.
But yeah, Shanks, he like, this is a good life lesson for Luffy. Like, he don't know it yet, but he ends up saying there's bigger things to fight about. Or I guess pretty much he teaches Luffy a life lesson about stuff, I guess. So next scene is Nami stranded in the sea, or it looks like shit.
So Nami is in a boat, in her own boat, where she's pretending like she is like super tired and she's
she's pretending like she's dying.
Yes, dying and tired. Pirates come by and they try to take pity on her, so they try to help her. She tricks them and steals their boat, and she just takes off.
From there, it goes into the next scene, the bar scene. So that's when we see Zoro with that clown guy he chopped up earlier. He like just pops him down in the bar scene. Let me get a drink for me and my friend. And then the guy with the suit and the long hair, Luffy's there, and then Nami's also there. She ends up going there. So pretty much all three of them end up there. That's the scene where like a little girl comes by and she tried to get Zoro some food.
It was a cool scene. It might be some rice cakes, I think, that she brought him.
What's rice ball?
So some rice balls she brought him, and we got this guy.
Oh, that dude, he is the X-Men's kid.
So he comes by, he's been a total douchebag.
Bumps into a little girl who's got rice balls for Zoro. He bumps into her and drops the food. So it's like, yo, I apologize to the kid. And then that's when this big old brawl scene kicks off in the bar.
First off, going back to him dropping the food, the fact that Zoro picked the food off the ground and put it in his mouth.
Yeah. He ate it.
He ate the food.
Yeah.
So I was surprised on that part. So that did kick off into a whole brawl when Zoro pretty much beats this guy's ass.
Hell yeah, he does.
Yes, he shows the skills that he has.
Without even drawing the sword.
Yeah, he didn't even
pull out the sword.
He didn't pull out the sword. When he did pull it out, he barely pulled it out to just the handle. He was knocking dudes out with just the handle of the swords.
Yeah, he took out a shitload of Marines and everything. It was crazy. But yeah, and that's pretty much it. Like, Luffy sees him. He sees him kicking ass. Nami takes advantage of the situation.
Yes.
And she robs this dude's clothes.
Yeah, she steals one of the Marines' clothes to try to get in to find where this secret map is that they're looking for.
From there, it goes to Zoro. He ends up talking to Captain Morgan. He's trying to collect his reward for the bounty earlier, the clown guy, remember? The number 7 guy. The Captain Morgan offers him
a chance to join the Marines. Zoro pretty much refuses.
Yeah. So Zoro gets tied up. From there, Luffy and Cody are talking. That's when he tells Cody, he's like, oh, I want to get that map. Luffy decides to go into the Marines.
Yes. They come up with a plan on how to get into the Marine base.
Yeah.
The plan ends up going well. He ends up getting into the Marine base.
Yeah. He frees Zoro. Zoro is tied up outside because I don't know why the hell.
Yeah. Somehow he sees Zoro tied up outside and he ends up freeing him and then he makes his way into the Marine base where he sees Nami.
Yeah. Nami's there. She's trying to find the map. The Grand Line map, right?
Yes.
They bump into each other while they're looking for the map. They bump into
each other.
Luffy's also there.
Luffy and Nami team up while they're trying to find the map. Yeah. And because this Marine knows that she's not a real Marine. Yeah. Like that she's just dressed up. So they have to fight this Marine and beat him up.
So after Zoro got let go, he went to go back and get his swords from that dude, the douchebag kid.
From the douchebag guy.
Yeah. He's standing there naked and shit.
Yeah, he was in his room with one of Zoro's swords, which is the white one. And he was posing in the mirror completely naked. I thought this was a weird scene. I don't understand why he was posing naked with a sword. But yeah, it was just weird. Very weird.
That's probably a reason for it. I'm sure goes to the animators.
Then they looking for the map in the office, and Luffy just end up finding the map underneath the desk.
Yeah, he moved some switches around in the office, and they end up getting them. Well, they
found it in a safe. Yeah, they had the safe, and they couldn't open it, so Luffy uses his powers to get the safe out of the desk.
Yeah, pretty much at that point, they had been busted by the Marines. The Marines have found out, they're getting robbed pretty much. It kicks off from there. Captain Morgan, he finds out he got jacked and all that. And then it goes into yard scene fight. Luffy and Nami are fighting against a shitload of Marines. They're surrounded by Marines. They're doing the best they can. So Zoro's running out and he's about to leave. He goes to the yard and he sees Luffy and Nami fighting. Because Luffy had freed him earlier. He's like, I guess I'm not leaving them behind. And yeah, he pretty much joins the fight. At that point, they become a team and they all end up fighting Captain Morgan, the X-Man, X-Hand.
They become a team, but all of them are saying that...
No, they're not a team.
I don't want to be part of this team. Each one of them are saying that, but Luffy he keeps saying, we are a team. He keep putting it in their head that all their actions are showing that they are part of the team, but they keep... Nami and Zoro are saying, no, we're not a team.
Well, Zoro originally was a pirate hunter, so he's got his reasons. Nami also, she has her reasons because she hates pirates,
which we'll find out later in the other episode.
They end up beating Captain Morgan and then they run off.
So at the last scene, Buggy is sitting in a chair and he has the one leg up in the chair. Reminds me of the Joker, how his whole attitude and demeanor. And he said that it's his map. Somehow he found out that they took the map and that he's want to get this map back. And he just started laughing like he's the Joker.
I guess, and that pretty much goes into the next episode.
That
right?
concludes episode 1.
Yeah. Episode 2, The Man in the Straw Hat. So episode 2 covers anime episodes 4 through 8 and manga chapters 8 through 21. Yeah. So at this point, 3 of them are together. You got Nami, Zoro, and Luffy. They're on the sea. Nami is the navigator.
Yeah, she know how to write maps.
Yeah, she
can create a map just by drawing a map.
She's telling them about where to go next and all that. And then they end up getting captured by other pirates.
Also, in part of this episode, it shows that after Luffy and his crew stole the map, you see that they had all the pirates find out that Luffy stole the map, and they're going to come after him.
Yeah, Buggy knows he's got the map.
The
Marine Admiral knows he has the map.
The Marines, when it cuts to the Marines, you have Kobe, and it shows that he decided that, he's going to become a Marine.
Well, his dream was to become a Marine.
His dream is to become a Marine, so he ended up enlisting the Marines. Luffy told him where he was going. Kobe ended up telling the Admiral where he was going. Okay, so going back, the crew is caught by Buggy.
He's got him in a circus tent. So in the circus tent, he's got all these people, but all these people, they're all people he captured from the town. They're all tied up. They're all his slaves and stuff.
Yeah, he's forcing them, making them laugh.
Yeah, he's making them put on a big show.
Buggy took 2 of the crew members, which is Nami and Zoro. He put them in a room by themselves, and he tied Zoro to a spinning wheel, and Nami is in a cage, a big cage.
A bird-looking cage.
A bird cage.
It's kind of weird. It kind of gives you a whole lot of freedom.
Yeah, while in another room, and on another room, he got Luffy in a scene where he got his limbs stretched out, and he's torturing him.
Well, he's trying to torture him.
Well, he think he's torturing him, which he's really not.
Yeah, it ain't working.
So Luffy is just kind of smiling while the dude is trying to torture him.
The clown guy, he's trying to figure out where the map is. He knows they got the map. He's trying to do other stuff to Luffy. Where he really gets him is he gets Luffy's straw hat. It's a really important thing.
It's important to Luffy because it's Shanks, his mentor, Straw Hat. Yeah, that really gets him. That's very personal to him. Other than that, he was like, you can torture me all day. I can do this all day. Like some Captain America type stuff.
Do whatever you want to me. Don't mess with my hat.
Yeah.
And this is where we find out he gets out of the torture thing.
Yeah, because he becomes really mad because after the guy messes with his hat, he becomes really angry and uses all his might of his powers to break out of this stretching torture that he was in.
That's when we find out that Buggy also has powers. He ate the chop fruit. He ate one of the devil fruits. His body can be cut apart, and it doesn't matter because he'll just piece himself back together.
Which I thought was pretty cool that he did that, and it seemed like he's unstoppable. But later they find a way to stop him, even with that type of power, which is amazing because I didn't think he could be stopped.
Nami and Zoro, they're stuck in the other room, but they're trying to break out. Nami, she's a thief. She's smart. She's got a lockpick. She's trying to pick a way out of it. Luffy gets put in a tank of seawater. Buggy has Luffy in the tank of water, and he's pretty much gonna drown his ass out in the water until he tells him where the map is.
But Luffy is refusing to tell. Yeah. Like he's very courageous, so he's still not giving up where the map is.
And then it goes to another scene where one of the other clown's henchmen, you've seen him earlier before, he was following Zoro and he's gonna try to get revenge, but that leads to nothing. They end up escaping. They both beat that dude's ass. Well, after Zoro and Nami escape, they go help Luffy. They use Buggy's ability of him breaking apart
against him.
And they end up locking up each part. And
they found some boxes, empty boxes, to where every time he chopped up himself, they can put these pieces of him in boxes and lock it to where he can piece himself back together again, which made him vulnerable.
So, they found his weakness.
So he was begging, what are y'all doing? Y'all can't do that. So they pretty much defeated him after that. And Luffy pretty much shot Buggy's head into the sea. Yeah, with his power punch he does. After they defeat Buggy, Luffy and his crew let all the people that Buggy had captured, he let them go.
Also, this episode 2 also covers, in flashback, it covers Luffy's backstory, and it talks about Shanks and pretty much how he ends up getting his hat from Shanks.
You have Shanks and his crew fight these
the bandits. It returns to a scene where Luffy was still mad about the bandits disrespecting Shanks, yeah. He was mad about that. So he goes and like calls out the bandits. The main bandit guy ends up taking Luffy out to the sea. I mean, pretty much to kill him. And then there's this giant
fish monster comes out of the sea.
And the giant fish monster ends up eating the bandit. Shanks ends up there somehow. I don't know. Not explained.
Shanks, his mentor, end up defeating the monster with his mind control powers.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. In the manga, when they show that scene, he's like, you see a close up of his eye, but I'm like, so he just stared at the monster?
Well, technically he did.
Yeah, he did, but like, when I saw this, I was like, oh wait, he has powers.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, well, I forgot all about this.
Like, why? I don't know why he haven't used his powers on. He could have used his powers, mind control powers, with the bandits when they first came. He could have did it that way.
He's using his mean mugging powers.
So that's some good powers right there.
Oh yeah, man. Staring that.
He should have. I don't know why he didn't use his powers on when they came in to steal water or whatever they came in.
No, they came in to get sake.
Sake, whatever. They tried to steal the sake. I don't know why he didn't use his powers then.
Okay.
I guess they just wanted to.
No, there's a reason why he didn't use his powers. It's because what he said. There's no point of fighting.
But it's harmless though. It's harmless to use your powers. If you got mind control, I can see your powers more strong. Like,
well, we don't do that.
But if you can say, hey, your mind control can say, hey, you tell the dude, I really don't need this water. I'm gonna leave and never come back. You tell him that, and then he just leave and never come back. That's problem solved right there.
Well, maybe there's a reason for why he.
Maybe it is. I mean,
but we don't know that yet. That's the other thing. Like that won't be like laid out until like episode 700 or some shit like that.
Oh wow, okay.
It's probably explained later down the road, but I'm pretty sure there's a reason. Don't quote me on that. So Shanks stops the giant fish monster from attacking both of them. He saves Luffy. Even though he stopped the monster, Shanks loses his arm. Luffy, he hates himself for that.
Yeah, he feels really bad about it.
Yeah, because he blames himself, it's kind of his fault. Or
he's the one that kind of insulted the bandits. Yeah. And probably the bandits, I'm sure, the one that kind of chopped off Shanks' arm.
Wait,
somehow.
No.
Was it the monster that did it? Did the monster eat him?
Yeah, Shanks has his arm out. You kind of barely notice it, and Shanks had lost his arm because of the fish monster.
Okay, so Luffy feels bad about Shanks losing his arm.
Yeah. Shanks gives Luffy his hat, and then Shanks takes off. Forever, he's not coming back to that village where Luffy is at. So that's why Luffy really treasures that hat, because he got it from Shanks.
Okay, at the end of episode 2, Nami calls this anonymous character, and she tells him that she has the map. And she pretty much double crosses the whole team. Like, she has this underhanded plan, which I don't like at all.
Yeah, we don't know that.
It makes me not like her character at this point in the movie.
Yeah, Nami not looking good right now.
Not right now.
So, all right, one thing that kind of did bug me about this one is some people might not notice it. The VFX on Buggy being cut up, man, kind of bugged me because kind of looked a little bit off here and there. But overall, it was all right, for what it was.
Episode 3, Tales No Tales.
Episode 3 covers anime episodes 9 through 11 and manga chapters 20 through to 27. All right, so in episode 3, we're in Nami's ship. It looks like there's a problem in Nami's ship. I guess there's a leak in the boat, and then a whole bunch of water starts pouring in. But they got enough time to make it to the next island because Nami's boat is fucked, so they have to get a new ship.
Then they end up in this shipyard where it's owned by, I don't know if she's a princess or not. I'm gonna say Princess Kaya. Her parents owns the old shipyard, and at the edge of midnight, she will own shipyard.
Yeah, but we don't know yet. We'll find out about that later. So at the shipyard, we get introduced to Usopp. We get introduced to that guy. That guy in the anime, well, in the manga, I didn't like that guy. He looked retarded. Just the way he looked. He has a long nose and shit. Just the design of the character looked dumb. But he's alright in the live action. So pretty much they gotta get another ship. Luffy says they can get a ship. He'll figure out how to get a ship. He's confident.
Nami wants to steal the ship. Steal the ship.
Because they got no money. They're broke.
Luffy doesn't want to steal the ship, and him and Nami end up making a bet if Luffy's plan doesn't work, that she can go ahead and try to find and steal the ship. And Luffy's plan is to try to get the Princess Kaya to just give the ship to them.
So they run into Usopp, and Usopp is gonna introduce
Luffy to Kaya, Luffy to Kaya.
Luffy.
Kaya has this assistant who he pretty much is like a narcissist.
The butler.
He pretty much controlling everything she does, what she eats, what she says.
No, it's just something about the butler, man.
It's something about him.
Man.
It is something about him that at this point we really don't know what's going on. All I know is he's controlling. He's trying to do everything, trying to control what she talk, who she talk to, what she eats, and all that stuff.
Kaya and Usopp, they're good friends. They're pretty close. They go to her. Luffy and them in the crew go talk to her, and then she invites them over. She's like, "Come hang out, eat with us." I guess you know they're not gonna refuse. You know,
They didn't refuse.
Hell no, free food, man.
So
Free meal.
They end up going.
So obviously there's something weird going on with the butler guy and his helpers. There's a scene where it shows that he's cooking some weird blue shit, and I guess the girl mentions that like don't drink that. But they're up to something, right? We end up finding out that Kaya is being poisoned by her butler, and the reason for that
Kaya's assistant is an actual he's a pirate.
Yeah. Kuro, the pirate of many plans.
Yeah, what it is a pirate that they think everybody think is dead already.
Yeah.
Which he really wasn't dead.
Yeah. He is the cat pirate crew pretty much. I guess they're supposed to be cats or something.
Yeah, and his two helpers are part of his crew.
Yeah, so they're all working together in this big scheme to try to screw over Kaya out of the shipyard business.
Yeah, her inheritance of the shipyard business.
All right, in this episode, we get introduced to Arlong, the shark guy.
He shows up where he is talking to Buggy, and he threatens Buggy. He wants to know what a map is and who has it. And Buggy is just being the Buggy himself, like clowning around. He's not really telling them at this point.
Well, going back to the Kaya's mansion. So that night, she turns the age to where she's gonna inherit
the shipyard.
Yeah, the shipyard. Mary is parents' friend that helped run the shipyard. He's worried because of the transfer over to her, but also the butler is supposed to get ownership, or Kaya's gonna transfer over ownership of the shipyard to the butler because Kaya is sick. Zoro's looking for a drink and he runs into the cellar, and then he finds Mary, the sheep guy. He finds that dude dead
because he got some knife wounds, like he got blood stains on his shirt, and it looked like they might be got stabbed a couple of times.
Yeah, so Kuro ended up killing Mary. That's when you also find out that Kuro, he's got like
he got the super speed.
Yeah, he's got super speed ability. Because Zoro is surprised by it. He doesn't know what the hell's going on. Zoro gets knocked out. Kuro gets his crew to go dump Zoro and the sheep guy's body into a well. So Usopp kind of finds out what's going on. And he says the pirates are here, the pirates are coming. But earlier we had seen that he had done this before when he was a kid. And
he becomes like pretty much the boy who cried wolf. Like every time he always thought the pirates were coming, he'll go to everybody's door, knock on it, tell them, and then the pirates wouldn't be coming because I don't know if he was imagining it, but it keeps doing that for a period of time to the point to where when it does happen for real, the people don't believe him. Hence the boy who cried wolf.
And also throughout this whole time, you get other scenes that it's showing Kobe being in the Marines. The admiral decides to mentor Kobe. He notices Kobe's work, but because of Kobe he was a slave of either ship, he thinks too much or his mind gets in the way.
He still don't really have the confidence in himself.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Because that guy is a real coward, and the admiral is helping him get his mind out of that state. At the end of episode 3, the Marines had showed up to he's where Luffy was at, so they had ended up showing up there. So Kobe and S-Man's kid and some other Marines, they end up showing up at the end of the episode. So that was the end of episode 3. Episode 4, the pirates are coming. Okay, episode 4 covers anime episodes 12 through 17 and manga chapters 28 through 41. So episode 4, so the Marines, they arrive at the rich girl's house.
Looking for Luffy and his crew. They become pretty much close with the Kaya, and they was invited to dinner.
Yeah.
And
she lets them stay overnight.
Yeah. Luffy ends up eating all...
That blue syrup, he ends up eating the poison.
Yeah, the poison that Kaya's assistant was feeding her.
Yeah, because they said it was medicine for her, but that was all bullshit.
Luffy eats all the poison and pretty much collapses on the table. Kaya's assistant's crew, they find Luffy, whatever his name is, find him like collapsed on the table.
Yeah, they think he's dead because he's the poison. They're gonna get rid of his head. So Nami, she ended up hiding when all this stuff went down. When he passed out on the table, one of the cat crew came down. Nami hid in one of the cupboards. She ended up knocking out the cat lady. That's when the Marines show up, because Usopp had told the Marines that something weird is going on at Kaya's mansion. And then the butler, he talks to the Marines. He's like, "No, why are you gonna believe Usopp? Usopp is always lying." And Usopp pretty much ended up screwing himself over since he was a kid because he was playing the boy who cried wolf. The butler says, "Yeah, we have Luffy here." He's like, "All right, give me a minute. I'll go get Luffy." And he hands over Luffy to the Marines. But they think Luffy is dead. But to them, it doesn't matter. They're just trying to get rid of that guy, right? Usopp takes off. He takes off running.
Yes, he takes off running to...
screaming, the pirates are coming, the pirates are coming.
And then he goes to Kaya's window and goes to inform Kaya what's going on. Well, my thing is, after that, Kaya, I mean, even though he tells Kaya, and mind you, Kaya and him been friends forever. Like, they're very close. They tell each other everything. The fact that she didn't even believe him when he tried to tell her the truth about what's going on is, I don't like that part.
What do you mean? Why not?
I don't like that she didn't believe him.
Well, why not? Like,
because that's her best friend.
Yeah, but like,
I mean, and they like each other. Why would you believe? Why would he lie to her about that?
Well, you kind of get like part of it is because it shows his character. So like he screwed himself over because he's been lying this whole time. Because she also, like, at the same time, you kind of notice it. I don't know if you caught that point. That she also kind of knows that his stories are full of shit, right? Because what Kaya likes about this dude, and he goes to her and he tells her all these stories. But he comes with all these exaggerated stories. But I think Kaya kind of knows it, that he just makes up these stories.
But
I think that's why she wouldn't believe him.
At the same time, this how he's telling the story, though. I mean, he's coming straight to her and telling her, like, particular that there's something wrong with these guys.
Yeah.
This dude is a pirate. And I think that, I mean, just how he's telling her is like, why wouldn't you believe him? I can see, like, he's going around telling everybody that pirates are coming.
No, but also, he brought Luffy and the crew. She even said it herself. Kaya said, "Yeah, the pirates are here. Yeah, Luffy and your crew."
Yeah, that's what he thinks he's talking about.
Yeah.
He's talking about, oh no, the other pirates.
Yeah, but she won't believe that also because Kuro is her butler and he's been helping her out. To me, at least the way I saw it, I could be wrong. The way I saw it was, if you look back also at the name of the episode, is where he kind of screwed himself. Because he's lied for so long, even when he's telling the truth, people kind of doubt him.
Right.
Right.
I just think, like, for instance, I mean, even if he has been all that, he's been kind of exaggerating about the pirates. Even if you think slightly, you should give him the benefit of the doubt because he's your friend and y'all are really close. Right. She didn't give him the benefit of the doubt until she actually saw something happen. You know, so that's just what I think. Even though I can see, like, in the back of your mind, you think that he might be still lying, but give him a benefit of the doubt that something might be going on. Because he's at this point, he's really, really serious. You can tell on look at his face how he kind of tell him.
I mean, I don't know.
So you can do it, see it in either way.
Yeah, really.
Okay, then we go into a flashback with Zoro when he's young. He's probably about 10 or 11, going up against his best friend, Karina.
No, Karina.
And she keeps defeating him over and over again. And he keeps trying to defeat her, but he can't do it. But she keeps telling him, like, that his elbow is down.
Yeah, she keeps correcting him.
She keeps correcting him, but that makes him even madder when she does that. But she still ends up beating him at the end. At the end of that battle, he was kind of down on himself about not being the...
Zoro was trying to be the greatest swordsman. He's like, no, I want to fight you and I'm going to keep fighting you until I beat you, right? So he challenges Kuina to a sword fight, but without using wooden swords. There's a name for the wooden swords. He challenges Kuina to a duel with real sword. He wants to really prove himself who can win, right? At this point, Zoro also, he only had 2 swords. At this point, he only had 2 swords. And you can see where he gets that white sword from. Or the white sword.
This is where he gets the white. You can see how he ended up getting the white sword.
Yeah, because it's Kuina's sword.
Yes.
Yeah, and then they fight with real swords and real katanas. He loses again in the duel, but she brings up a a good point to him, to where he's like, "Look, I can beat you now." She's like, "A girl can beat a boy, but a woman can't
beat a man."
Beat a man, yeah, and it's like it's a point he doesn't understand yet. But she ends up bringing up a good point, because she's like, "I'm tough now, but in the end." Once you get older, when you become a man, you're gonna beat my ass. It's a good, pretty much,
life lesson.
Yeah, it's a good life lesson. Yeah, it's a lot of life lessons.
Yeah,
man.
at the end.
He tells her, "Okay, then let's both of us work together to try to be our best, be the best swordsman." And then it goes to later down to where we find out that she died.
And he ended up, and he asked the Sifu if he can have the sword.
So he gets Queen the sword,
and the Sifu end up giving him the sword. So after that, they kind of jump back into present day, where they're back at the house. Zoro's still stuck down in the well at this point. And then they kind of go back to the house where
the butler guy, the Kuro, he's gonna kill Kara. So, cause it turns midnight or whatever it turns.
Yeah, she turns 18 at midnight, to where she owns everything after that.
Yeah.
So if he kills her, I mean, I'm assuming that he gets everything if she dies. Maybe they had like a deal or something where that's what happens.
So he's gonna go out. He's gonna try to kill her that night. I mean, this whole time his big plot was just to wait for her. And once she gets all her inheritance, then he's gonna try to get her from her. He's gonna kill her. That was the whole point of him being her butler. Up until that point, Kaya didn't believe Usopp, but after she sees Kuro is gonna kill her, he goes in there and like starts stabbing the walls and stabbing stuff and breaking stuff. He's like, "I'm gonna kill you."
Pretty much, he's creeping around. Like just calling out her name with
he's being a cat man.
His knife swords, like Freddy Krueger, pretty much.
Oh yeah, he's got Freddy Krueger fingers.
Yeah, he got the Freddy Krueger nail fingers out.
Big old long knives.
Just creeping around. You got Usopp and Nami. So Nami pretty much knows what's going on with everything.
Yeah, and then she ended up also meeting up with Usopp and Kaya, and she ended up telling them also what's going on. And Kaya, Usopp, and then Kaya finally entirely believes.
Yeah, she only really believed her when after Nami confirmed that what was going on with her assistant
Kuro. Yeah, Kuro.
Yeah.
Kuro is the butler guy.
Yeah, after Nami confirmed it, that's when Kaya decided to believe her best friend.
Damn. So much for being best friends.
Yeah. I don't like that. I'm for real. I don't like it.
Best friends till the end.
Now you got Kuro is hunting them down pretty much. Yeah. They found this secret.
Kaya has secret back rooms that they use that the staff uses to like either get in between rooms to other back doors that they use in between the mission to go through stuff. They had to use that because the crew ended up locking them down. They were stuck. Nami, the butlers, everybody was stuck inside the mansion because they had locked it down, so nobody could come in and nobody could get out. Mm-hmm. So they had to go over to her parents. Also, her parents had died like at sea or something happened to them. All she pretty much said about them is they had died at sea.
So they end up going to her parents' room to try to use their emergency latch to open the castle back up. Kuro is hunting them down, and he ends up hearing them in the walls. So he sticks his knives through the walls because he hears where they are, and he ends up cutting Kaya.
She gets hurt,
and then they just take off running between the walls, and he kind of trying to follow them because he's trying to hear the sound where they're going.
They failed, so they get to her parents' room, turn a lever to unlock the doors, so they can open up the mansion up again, her estate. Mm-hmm. But they fail at it because the butler guy Kuro he figures out where they are, because there's only two emergency switches that can open the house up. Mm-hmm. The one they triggered earlier, and then the one that's at her parents' room. So they're busted, so they're stuck there. Kuro comes in, he walks in the doorway, he kicks it down, busts in and shit, and then they hide. So Nami and Kaya, Nami and the rich girl, they hide under a desk. Usopp goes and hides behind some some curtains. While the butler, he's just saying, "Oh, I hated working for you this whole time. You know, I just put up with all this stuff in order to succeed on my plan." All right, so Zoro finally makes it out of the well. Now, so how does he make it out the well?
So Zoro is stuck down there for a while.
Oh, he's knocked out.
Yeah, he's knocked out, and then when he wakes up, he tries to get out. He tries to use his hook to try to hook it on something so he can try to climb out. But he couldn't get the hook to hook onto anything because there was nothing for it to hook on. So he tried it by a couple times, and then he stopped.
After that, he ends up climbing. He ends up pretty much going barehanded, rock climbing.
Yes.
Yeah. Rock climbing powers.
Yeah.
Activated. No, but
so he does that. Yes.
Yeah, but between back and forth of that, it kind of goes in the flashback and it keeps going to the present day. But like, because he's like struggling to get up the wall and all that, it's pretty much he's down himself. And then
as he keep looking at these flashbacks, he's seeing when he failed up against his friend, and as when he every time he fails, he loses grip of trying to climb out by hand. It gets to the point to where he ends up losing the grip completely, and he falls all the way back down and knocks himself back out.
And then Luffy,
the Marines had Luffy, and he ends up waking up, and he throws up the poison that he ate earlier. And so he's back to himself, which he goes off to help.
Luffy tells Kobe, because Kobe's there, something is up with the butler. I need to go back. But the other guy, the X-Man's kid, Helmet Bowl, Captain Morgan's kid, he's like, no, the Admiral told us we have to capture Luffy. We're not letting him go. And then that's when Zoro shows up. And
pretty much sucker punches
Helmet Bowl. Captain Morgan's kid ends up getting knocked out.
And then Luffy tells Kobe that he's going to go save his friends, and you can try to stop him, but don't try to stop him.
Yeah, because Kobe, he's still a coward, but he's trying to be a Marine at the same time. But I guess he's confused.
Yeah, he's trying to be a good Marine.
Yeah,
but him being a good Marine isn't impeding Luffy from his dream. I mean, him trying to save his friends. So pretty much Luffy Lopi, whatever his name, he's told him that don't get in my way or I'm gonna have to take you down, pretty much.
Yeah, so Luffy,
they take off. Yeah,
so Luffy and Zoro run back to the mansion. They open up the shutter doors by jamming some weird statue thing, and then they go inside the mansion. Let's go to the other scene where earlier where the butler is in the parents' room and he's gonna kill everybody there. Usopp, Nami, and Kaya. Kuro is there, and he's just talking mad stuff. He's talking shit about Kaya, and then Kaya finally she found the courage to stand up to Kuro. She's like, "No, I'm stronger than this," and she comes out, and Nami also comes out. You know, they're gonna fight the butler, but they don't realize that he has powers. The Speed Force.
Yes, Speed Force. Yeah, he started using his super speed.
They're surprised by his super speed. Wow. Zoro and Luffy go into the mansion. They run into the butler's crew. You know, that the cat lady and the cat dude, and they end up fighting Zoro. Zoro takes on the cat crew, and then Luffy takes off and to help Kaya and the rest of them. All right, so Zoro takes on Kuro's crew, and he ends up beating them. And then Luffy's there, and
Luffy takes off to go to fight Kuro 101. Which it starts out to be a little bit difficult because he finds out that Kuro has some actual powers of super speed. Kuro is pretty much just trying to dance around him. He's using his speed to just stay out of sight. Luffy he's using another way to try to beat him. He starts to listen to the guy so he can try to catch him before he even tries to use his speed. Yeah, which eventually works because he figures it out, and then he punches him in the face like from around the corner. And pretty much knocks Kuro down. And after that, Kuro just managed to stop using his speed to his advantage anymore. He just stopped using it, and then
he forgot all about his powers.
Yeah, he forgot about the powers because he knocked it out of him, I guess.
Yeah, he knocked his powers out.
He just started using his Freddy Krueger nails and going towards him. Pretty much, Luffy head butts him into the sentry.
Head butted him to the next town, nigga.
Yeah. To the next episode.
Yeah, to the next episode. No, but I mean, pretty much that was it for that. Like, yeah, Luffy beats Kuro. So they're like, oh, we gotta go. We gotta get the hell out of here because the Marines are gonna show up, right? So Luffy brings up, oh, we don't have a ship. And then Kaya is like, yeah, she's thankful for them saving her life. And she's like, no, I'll give you a ship. That's earlier when Luffy first met Usopp, he saw a ship that had like a sheep's head in it. A sheep's head on the main point of the ship. I don't know.
The bow.
Yeah, on the what?
The bow.
Oh, okay, on the bow. Yeah, and then they end up getting a new ship. Usopp and Kara, part ways. They're good friends. They really love each other and all that shit. Usopp ends up joining Luffy and his crew.
And they pretty much kind of sail off. And Nami, she's still doing underhanded stuff.
She's looking kind of suspicious. She's looking suspicious.
Yeah, it's looking suspicious.
Right.
She found her phone when she called earlier.
Her snail phone?
Yeah, her snail phone.
What the hell? I don't want to stick no snail in my ear. That's
just
weird.
Snail phone. But she was communicating with somebody.
Luffy and crew get a ship, right? And they think they're good to go. But then that's when we end up finding out the Marines are after them. The Marines are following them. The Marines attack Luffy and his crew. They attack his ship.
And then we end up finding out that the head of the Marines is Luffy's grandpa.
Yeah, the Admiral.
And that's happened at the last part of the episode 4.
Yeah.
And pretty much they going off into the sunset. Stay tuned for next episode. Episode 5, Eat at the Buratai. Buratai?
Episode 5 covers anime episodes 19 through 24, manga chapters 42 through 52. So episode 5 is where we left off, where Luffy says Grandpa to the Admiral. The Admiral and the Marines are chasing him on the boat. And it goes into that flashback scene to, where it brings up that, yeah. So they have a familial connection there. Luffy and his crew are getting attacked by the Marines, and they're gonna take off. Even though Luffy wants to fight, she's like, no, we gotta run. We gotta get out of here. And the Marines fire off a big old cannon. It's gonna hit their deck, straight for their deck. That's when Luffy puffs up into a big old balloon shield.
Yeah, like a big rubber ball.
Yeah, and he blows back the cannonball that they shot at.
Actually, they didn't shoot it. His granddad threw it.
He threw it?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
So that kind of shows his super strength. Yeah. I mean, before they...
Man, everybody's got all these magical powers.
Yeah. His granddad has super strength, by the way. He threw a cannonball with his arm, and he just threw it. And Luffy using his powers to bounce that cannonball right back at the ship, which causes them to kind of pause. And
when the cannonball bounces back, it hits
the sails.
It hits one of the giant sails of the ship, and it brings it down. That gives them the advantage to be able to run away to that giant fog cloud on the sea. So they end up in the sea cloud, and they're lost. You can't really navigate in the sea, in that giant fog cloud.
They can't really see where they're going. Yeah. So they just pretty much just drifting along at this point. They
drift for a while, but Luffy, he loves food. It's a whole big point in the backstory. And he's like, I may not know how to navigate. He said something like this. I may not know how to navigate, but I know when I smell food. And he smells food or something. He tells him, all right, head this way. He says, I'll follow my nose. You always just head that way. They see this glowing light in the fog, and they end up at a diner or at a restaurant out in the middle of the ocean. It's called the Baradier.
And also, I noticed, in this episode too, they start to enjoy each other's company. Even Zoro, it kind of tells Luffy that he's there for him from now on. He's gonna fight by his side to the death.
In this episode, we get introduced to Sanji. Sanji, he's trying to be a chef, and he's cooking this dish. Marcus over here hating on sushi, man.
I don't like raw.
Dude, it's good. You've never had
California rolls. I'm good.
No. If you've never had fish like that, the way he did it, dude, they do it like that in Japan.
Even a dude in the show said it was a piece of crap.
No.
But Zeph said, yeah, he didn't like it.
Dude, I had something like that in Japan. It was good. Yeah, so we run into Sanji.
Back to the story.
Back to the episode.
They're in the restaurant.
Yeah.
Luffy of course, they're waiting for they're waiting at the table, waiting for their food.
Yeah, so they decide to stop for a meal pretty much at the restaurant.
So now we pretty much getting the story of
the chef.
Sanji.
Yeah.
And he's showing his fighting skills when you got two people that can't or starting to fight, and he has to neutralize them by using his karate skills.
But for some weird reason, he only fights with his feet.
Yeah.
You never use him. You never see him use his hands.
He did.
Yeah. You didn't notice that?
No, I didn't notice.
Yeah, no, he's always like, usually he has his hands in his pocket.
Yeah, he has some quick feet.
He's got the footwork. Fancy footwork.
Right. So after that, he meets the crew. Luffy is automatically already.
He was eyeing the guy.
He's admiring him already. He's seen that he's a good fighter.
From there, it cuts to another scene where we see the Admiral, Luffy's grandpa. He's not giving up the chase. He's not going to stop chasing him. But he doesn't want to ask for help from the other Marines. That's when he calls this mercenary. I guess what it is called Mohawk or Mihawk. I forgot what it was. This vampire looking dude with big old sword.
Yeah, his sword is huge. Which he can defeat pretty much anybody. He's probably one of the best swordsmen that's out there. He's probably undefeated at this point.
The Admiral tells Mohawk to go, all right, find the Straw Hat Pirate. But at the same time, Kobe is listening in the background about what the Admiral just said. Which it surprised him. The Admiral's using underhanded tactics, just to capture. The Admiral later explains, look, you gotta do what you gotta do in order to capture the bad guys, which Kobe, he doesn't like that, he wants to try to play it by the book. Alright, so Luffy and his crew, they're done eating they're ready for the bill, and that's when Sanji comes up. He's like, alright, here's your bill. And then Luffy just signs it, thinking he can just put that shit on credit. Sanji just takes the check back. That's when Seth, he comes out. He's like, hey, what is this? And Luffy tells her, no, well, I'm putting it on credit. I'm gonna be the future king of the pirates. So just put it on my tab. It's like, no, ain't no tab. You pay as it is.
You go wash dishes.
Yeah. He made her watch dishes. While Luffy's in the back washing dishes, that's when he sees that dish that Sanji had made earlier. He ends up eating it. Good shit.
So it shows in this particular episode that it was a battle between Zoro and Mihawk.
Well, okay, so what had happened is Nami and Zoro had realized that there was a bounty on Luffy that Mihawk, the big old sword vampire dude. But because of that, Zoro was like, oh, Mihawk, he's the greatest swordsman out there. I'm gonna challenge Mihawk to a duel. So he ends up challenging him to a duel.
He want to be the greatest swordsman.
Yeah. If I defeat Mihawk, that means, I'm the greatest swordsman out there. And Nami, she's against it. She knows that this dude is going to take him out. No one can beat this guy. Zoro ends up challenging Mihawk to a duel.
He almost kills him.
Yeah. No, at first Mihawk pulls out this little sword that he has tied on his necklace. He's like, well, I'll fight you with this.
That little sword. That was kind of disrespectful.
Yeah. Well, Zoro, he gets his ass kicked. Yeah. Zoro ends up losing, but then
he almost dies.
He kind of got the respect from Mihawk. At the end of the battle, he ends up pulling out his big sword and he takes out he breaks the other two black swords.
And the thing is, he didn't kill him because he, like you said, he started gaining respect for him, and he was like, you're too young to die.
He almost killed him because
he did.
Zoro's like, look.
He didn't finish him off, though. He could have.
Yeah. But Zoro was, at the same time, he's like, look, I'm not going to surrender, but if you're going to lay down your final blow, do what you're going to do.
So he says, come back to me when you get stronger again.
Yeah, so Zoro gained some respect from Mihawk pretty much. But at the same time, Luffy also said, yeah, if Zoro wants to... I think this happened kind of earlier. Zoro said, yeah, if you want to take on Mihawk, go ahead, because it's your dream. So you got to fight it. If it's your dream, you go ahead and fight with them. I'm not going to stop you from doing that. This whole time, Nami's against... She had that scheme going on in the background. Oh, yeah, she had a scheme to where she was gonna buy a ticket to get on another boat so she can leave, because pretty much she thought that he was gonna lose, and she was she was right on that point. Zoro ended up losing. While all this is all going on, Luffy is trying to find out more about this happened before the fight and throughout kind of the episode. Luffy is figuring out more about Sanji. He sees Sanji's actual good guy, right? Talks to him and he's asking Sanji, what's his dream? He's like, Sanji, I want to be the best chef, the top chef or whatever, right? I guess he asked him to be in his crew. Nami was planning to run away, and take off and just leave him, but she ended up not doing that. Instead, she went back and watched the duel between Zoro and Mihawk. For those that don't know, it's just a little side thing. Something tripped me up when I was listening to this. When I heard Seth, that main chef's voice, I was like, something had tripped me up. I knew I had heard that dude's voice before. Seth actor, that dude. When I heard his voice, I knew, I was like, something bugged me about it. I knew I had heard this somewhere. Seth's voice is Gas from Call of Duty. Yeah, so the actor Craig Fairbrass is voice of Gas from Call of Duty Modern Warfare. But yeah, that's just a side note. Pretty cool. I never realized it. Alright, anyways, back to the episode. Alright, episode 6, The Chef and the Chore Boy. So episode 6 covers anime episodes 25 through 30, manga chapters 53 to 68. Leaving off from last episode where Zoro got his ass whooped by Mihawk.
Yeah, he was on the brink of death.
So they bring him in. They bring him in back to the restaurant. They're trying to look for help. Luffy, he's trying to get help for Zoro. I mean, there's no doctor there. The head chef, Seth, ends up helping out Zoro. He stitches his wounds and then
puts this layer of fish on him. Yeah. Somehow he says
it's an old pirate trick.
Yeah, old pirate trick.
So it turns out Zeph, he's the red-legged pirate. What was the red boot pirate? Zeph the peg leg. But so it turns out Zeph is a pirate. He's a cook pirate. In this episode, we pretty much get Sanji's backstory. Yeah, so it goes into a flashback. Zeph in his pirate days, he raids another boat that Sanji, when he was a kid, his boat gets raided. Sanji and another cook there, and Sanji as a kid, he's there cooking and stuff, and then that's when the alarms go off that they're getting raided by pirates. So they're getting raided by pirates, right? Sanji stays, the other cook runs off. This pirate walks in, we don't know who it is yet. He goes over, so he walks into the kitchen. He sees a bowl of it looks like some white creamy soup. He tastes it. He's like, it's missing oregano. He pulls out a little
boy he just went crazy over that.
No, it's a good line, but
oregano is for savages or something like that.
Yeah, oregano's for savages. I don't know why that tripped me out, but yeah, the pirate guy was gonna pull out a little seasoning, little jar. He's gonna pull out. That's when Sanji runs out with the knife. He's like, no one's gonna mess with my dishes or whatever. So the pirate crew and the ship that Sanji was on, their boat gets destroyed because there's a big storm. They get fucked, right? From there, they ended up stranded in this little rock. So the only two survivors are Seth and Sanji. And then so Seth is like, you get the smaller bag. That's your portion of food. That's all we got. And he gives it to Sanji, and then he tells Sanji to go to the other side of the rock they're stranded on, and they stay there for I forgot how many days, but it was a while, right?
Sanji and Zeph was actually on the island for 85 days.
Sanji ends up eating all his food eventually. The whole time he was thinking that Zeph had bigger portion of food. He gets hungry and he ends up running back to the other side, and then that's when we figure out we see Zeph.
That he cut his own leg off just to
so you find out.
It's disgusting, by the way.
Yeah, he had to eat his own leg. Well, we find out what's actually in the other bag, and it was filled with just treasure. It turns out Zeph sacrificed his own leg. Pretty crazy. He ended up saving the kid's life, and he didn't even realize it until afterwards, till he saw that Zeph had chopped off his own leg. Yeah.
So little boy Sanji took that from now on. He kind of looks back at that as pretty much saving his life. He owes Zeph his life.
Yeah.
And he worked with him ever since then.
Yeah, Sanji becomes, I guess, his understudy in the culinary school.
I guess so.
In the culinary school of chef. So we figure out why Sanji is like been loyal to Seth this whole time. Cause like Seth, he treats him like shit. So he's been treating him like shit. Like even earlier in the previous episode, whenever Sanji was trying to make dishes and his own was cooking what he thought was good, and he was treating him like trash. But there was a reason why he was doing all that. In the next scene, the shark crew ends up also at the restaurant.
Yeah, they come in like Aquaman out of the water.
Yeah. So during this whole time, Zoro is hurt. So he's hurt from the previous battle.
Pretty much just resting on the table.
Yeah. He's got to rest because they're saying he had lost a lot of blood. Try to talk to him and try to, keep him in this world. At the same time, Luffy is like judging whether or not he's a good captain. He's trying to figure out what it's like to be a captain because of the decisions that he made. Because Nami, she's blaming Luffy for what happened. She told him, no, you could have stopped them. You could have stopped this whole thing from happening. And he's like, no, I will never stop anybody from following their dreams. That's not who I am.
Right.
And she doesn't understand that. She doesn't get why Luffy does that, right? But there's a whole bigger reason. It's just his character. You can't stop that shit.
That's what he believes.
Yeah.
And you can't, and he's not gonna back down from it.
He may lose one of his crewmates, but to me, like that point, it's good. It's important. You don't stop somebody.
At the end of the day, they end up respecting him for it, and you can't help but respect him for it.
You get a lot of respect for that. So when Arlong shows up to the Baradier, he calls out for Luffy, and that's when he shows up. But before that, Seth tries to cool the situation down. He tried to play off like who's Luffy.
But the fishman pirate doesn't believe him. So I think he starts to try to bully more people until they give up Luffy.
Yeah.
Luffy comes out and then go ahead and challenges Arlong.
They end up fighting.
With an epic fight. I like that fight they had.
It's crazy fight. Well, the whole show has been different from the anime so far. It's kept the main points, but in the manga and in the anime, they had mentioned a while back what Luffy's weakness. Well, this is what you realized, because I had already kind of known more about it.
Yeah, I realized that Luffy, I asked the question to myself, is water Luffy's weakness? Because at this point, I didn't know.
But what made you think that, though?
What made me think it was in one of the other episodes where Bagger trapped him in the glass with water in it, and he couldn't really do anything in there. And then I started kind of thinking then, but then coming up to this episode where all he did was splash water his way and it knocked Luffy on his back.
So his weakness is seawater. So they're saying he can't swim and all this and that. So in the manga, it's kind of explained when he ate the devil fruit, he can't swim anymore. Yeah, so he's screwed if he goes in the water. I just don't remember it was mentioned before, but I kind of already knew about it.
Yeah, I don't think it was mentioned in this particular show. I didn't hear it.
Yeah.
I mean, it could have been, but I didn't hear it.
Yeah.
I guess you just kind of have to figure out like I did.
I think the fish guy, Arlong, he beats his ass, right? Oh, he chunks us to the water. He throws his ass to the water.
He ended up pushing him in the water, and
that's when
Sanji ended up reaching down to get him.
Well, no,
he jumped in again.
Yeah, Sanji jumps in and he saves Luffy from drowning and stuff. So Arlong is the shark head guy.
The head of it.
Yeah, he's the pirate.
Fishman pirate, yeah.
Yeah, he's their captain. The guy she had contacted earlier in one of the earlier episodes.
Nami, right?
Right, and that's who she was talking to earlier in the episode. So she had tipped them off earlier that she had the map. Yeah, we didn't know that at the time. So
now we know that's who she was talking to.
Yeah, she was backstabbing Luffy this whole time just to get the map so she could give it to Arlong.
Pretty much Nami was pretty much pissing me off throughout this whole way because she was backstabbing everybody. She had her own little plan this whole time. Yeah. So at this point, I didn't like her character.
And that's when you kind of figure out this whole time before they didn't reveal it. Nami, yeah, she had that tattoo. She had like a fish tattoo.
And Luffy sees that tattoo.
So it turns out this whole time was part of Arlong's crew.
Yes.
I mean, like we said before, yes. She had been talking
this
to
is
them.
More, it's confirmed now that she is going along with them.
Yeah, so she's looking like a bad guy this whole time. Like what you were saying earlier, I mean, like, fuck her. Like,
she's pissing me off. She pissed me off. I just don't like. Yeah. I don't like the underhanded plan, the second plan.
Yeah, she backstabbed the whole crew. And
So she basically just took off with them.
So Arlong take off. They got the map now.
This is what make Luffy like the leader that he is, that he still believed in her. So he still wanted to go after her, even though he saw her leave with Arlong's crew.
Yeah, Luffy believes there's like a reason for it.
Yeah, which it is, but at this point we don't know. He want to hear from her mouth what it is before he gives up on her.
Yeah, he wants to find out what is actually going on.
Yeah.
And Zoro ends up waking up, so Zoro's alright.
Yeah. So Zoro wakes up. I was happy to see that. So that gave the whole crew like another breath of fresh air when he wakes up. I like that Zoro he pretty much commits to Luffy, the whole crew now. Like, I'm gonna fight to the death for you.
That was legit. So one thing they didn't mention, how were the fish guys able to track down Luffy? It turns out they had used Buggy. Buggy had used a part of his ear and left it in.
Yeah, he said he has the eyes and ears.
Yeah, eyes and ears. So he left.
I mean, literally, he had ears of it.
Yeah, he left it. He left his ear inside of Luffy's hat. So that's how they were able to track him down and all that. The shark guys, the way they were able to keep Buggy under control is pretty much they had just
it disembodied him. Pretty much.
Yeah.
All he has is head.
Yeah.
I mean, they hid his body somewhere else.
Well, we'll find out where it is.
Yes.
That was kind of pretty much the end of the episode, but kind of to end it off, Sanji goes back and cleans up all the mess Arlong had made, and that's when Zeph comes out and he's like, "Dude, what are you still doing here?" They're going back to the whole story, the whole backstory, and he pretty much tells them, "Hey, why are you wasting time doing here? You wanted to go look for the
blue,
the deep blue. What the hell was it called?
The blue,
big blue." Zeph pretty much told Sanji, "What are you doing? Waste your time here with me." So a message of him like, "Dude, if you stay here working with me, you wasting your time pretty much. Go out there, follow your dream and all that."
He's pretty much tired of holding him back. He wants him to go out and accomplish what he's been set to accomplish.
Yeah, but like I kind of get it though, cause like look, Zeph, he saved his life. Sanjay feels, I guess, I don't know, guilt for him losing his leg because of him. He really respects that shit, so he wanted to be by the old man's side, just helping him out, right? But that's not why the old man saved him. The old man saved him, so Sanjay could go live out his dream, to find the blue, whatever it was. Yeah, Sanjay ends up.
We're part of the crew.
Yeah, Sanjay ends up joining. That was pretty much it, right? Episode 7, the girl with the dragon tattoo.
Episode 7, the girl with the fish tattoo.
Episode 7 covers anime episodes 31 through 37 and manga chapters 54 through 81. Alright, so episode 7, where we left off is Nami returned back. I guess the crew she's actually from, the Fishman's crew, and her betrayal and all that. So in this one, we get Nami's backstory.
So we get to see why Nami is how she is, why she has this plan of where she's trying to pretty much just be a loner and do her own thing, because she has this plan on her own. Particular episode, we find out what her plan is.
It turns out, like, when she was a little kid, her village got raided by the shark people, and Arlong came into the village, pretty much ransacking the village. So before that, we get a flashback into where Nami was a kid, and we see this marine lady running through this like burnout jungle village, right? She's running through the burnout village. There's like fire and death everywhere. I mean, like, I guess it was during the middle of a war campaign, and she finds these 2 little girls. So the 2 little girls that the marine lady finds is Nami and her sister Nojiko. So the marine lady ends up adopting those 2 girls, and she takes them in, and she ends up raising them as her daughters in the village that ends up getting raided. And that's where it goes into what you were saying.
They pretty much kind of tore up that whole town. Even Arlo picked up this whole hut and just threw it up in the air, and it landed on this roof.
So they raid the village, and they're there to collect. Well, they're extorting the village pretty much, and they're like, for every 1 person, y'all need to give up this amount stuff, and if you don't have this amount, I mean, we're gonna kill you. A scene where Nami's mom tells to hide. Her mom has the money to buy the shark guys off, but she only has enough money for one person. And then she tells Arlong, the shark guy, realizes, no, there's 3 plates on the dinner table. Like, no, it's not just you in this house. Tell me who's here, who else is here in this house. She's about to get shot. The mom, she couldn't deny, her 2 daughters. She couldn't say, there's nobody here, or she's like, no, you 2 are my kids. So you get that whole backstory, and that it turns out Arlong had killed
Nami's mom.
Yeah.
So I just want to reiterate how much I love how Luffy didn't give up on Nami. After all this, she told him that she didn't want a part of this whole time, but he still came to her town looking for her, because he wanted her to face to face for her to tell him again her story.
This guy getting teared up over here.
And I just really like that part of him. He never gives up on any of his crew, and he's showing what a good leader he really is. He eventually finds her, and pretty much she still tells him to leave her alone. Why did you even come here?
The reason why Nami is working with Arlong is because Arlong, she shows him, or he realizes
that she can draw maps, and she wants to be able to save the town. He told her that she needs to have a certain amount of money that he has, that she owes him, that she ended up collecting.
Well, I guess owes, but no, she said, like, how much money would it take to free my village? Her plan was to free the village. That's why she talked to Arlong, and Arlong said, it's just this amount. So she ends up working with Arlong to try to buy her village's freedom.
But she stole the money.
Well, I mean, how else you gonna get that amount of money?
I'm saying she was able to get the money.
Oh yeah.
She got it, but what happens to her, far as she had the money, she was going to go get the money to go give to Arlong so she can win back the village, or get the village back. But Arlong had something under his sleeve as well, where he wanted to. He pretty much has the Marines in his back pocket. Part of the Marines anyway.
Yeah, so there's a whole nother division of the Marines there that protect those islands. Not really protect, because they ain't protected shit on those islands. Arlong is working with the Marines of that division of Marines there. The thing is that Arlong, this whole time, he never had any intentions of letting Nami go. He was just using Nami to draw up all these maps, because Nami, she's a good navigator and she can draw up all these maps. So there's no way he was gonna give her up. So he did this big double cross on what you were saying earlier about the Marines there. The Marines there also come in. Y'all can do whatever y'all want, but y'all gonna have to pay us.
It's funny how they come in like they
rats.
like they the big bad, when they really not.
Yeah.
Cause they back down pretty easy when all he had to do was put a little bit force pressure, and they back down pretty easy.
They call him Nezumi. That Marine guy is called Nezumi. With Arlong, they got a deal where they get a certain amount, right? But then the Marine guys get greedy and they're like, nah, you got to double or cut. They get greedy and they want more. They end up talking with Arlong about it. I was like, hold on, let's go talk about this. Yeah, that's when they try to negotiate a new rate. Well, I pretty much said. So the Marines back down. They go with the old rate. But Nami, that's when Nami says, look, Arlong, will you keep your promise to me when that you said if I came up with the amount of berries you wanted? They call them their money berries. It's kind of weird. It's funny. He's like, you keep your promise of I get you the amount of berries that you needed or that you wanted for my village's freedom. He's like, yeah, if you got it. And he was surprised that she ended up getting that amount. But Nami's been working her ass off since she was a kid, right? Double crossing people. And that was her big secret. This whole time she was saving all this money up. She didn't tell anybody about it. She didn't even tell her sister about it.
Her sister hated her all this time. And when this is her plan all together, is trying to save their town or village.
She's like, why are you working with Arlong? And she lost the respect from her sister and everything. Nojiko. So pretty much Arlong backstabs her and he tells the Marine, yo, if y'all still want your cut, this is where you can get it. They end up finding Nami. Nami digs up the treasure that she had gathered up. She put it next to her mom's grave. It's kind of fucked Oh,
And when they was trying to take her money, I was just waiting for her crew to just pop up and help her, but they never did.
Well, oh, okay. So also, yeah, we mentioned that Luffy and his crew.
They was talking to her sister, trying to get the back.
Yeah. So they talk to her sister and they find out all her backstory and all this and that, and then Sanji preps a meal for his sister. Yeah, they buy her off of food and all that.
Wow.
And then Sanji over there hitting on her sister and all that.
And she said like this is the best food that she ever tasted in her whole life.
Yeah.
So this he was cooking.
Yeah. Well, Sanji's a good cook.
Jeff says differently, but but and certain foods he can cook really well.
Sanji's a top cook, man.
Jeff said he's the worst cook ever.
This guy.
Okay, so he wins over Nami's sister by cooking for her and the village, pretty much.
Also, the fish guy, the shark man guy, is talking about fishman superiority or something. I don't know what they were talking about with all that.
We didn't have to bring that up, really.
No, I'm gonna bring it up.
It don't really mean anything.
Because it was weird. No, because he hates the humans. He hates like all people. He thinks people
I think
are like,
he's more superior than the human.
yeah, but he thinks people are all against him and all this and that. That's why he hates people. And like, that's the reason why he raised the villages and all that. Yeah, so there's a point to it, but I'm like, fishman superiority. He sounds so weird, man. I'm like, what the hell? But alright, whatever. But yeah, so Luffy, he still believes.
Luffy, pretty much, what I like about this, some part of this episode where Luffy kind of expressed his belief in his crew. I just put that he expressed more belief in his crew, and it shows in how they work for him, or how they not work for him, but pretty much how they team up with him, how they go fight for him.
Yeah, so Nami ends up getting double crossed, and she finds out that the fish guy Arlong is not gonna let her go, and then she gets betrayed and she's all sad and all this and that. Her sister finds out why she was doing what she was doing.
Okay.
The villagers also find out what was going on this whole time. So Nami is all sad. She's been betrayed.
Yes.
And then she runs out into the fields close to her house, and then she starts just stabbing the shit out of her arm.
Yeah, she started stabbing her arm.
Where her tattoo was.
To try to get rid of the tattoo because she was ashamed of it now.
Yeah.
She actually asked Luffy for help because up until this point, she'd been not trying to get any help from them or to deal with them for nothing.
So Luffy grabs a knife from her hand and while she's stabbing herself.
So Luffy does stop her.
Yeah.
And then she asks for his help.
Yeah, it's cool. Like, he puts his straw hat on her and he's pretty much, I'm gonna help you out. I don't remember if he said it, but you can kind of get it that I'm here for my friends. I'm gonna help my friends out. He believed there was a reason why she was doing what she was doing.
That's been his whole motto, the whole show so far, that he's gonna help his friends. Nobody messes with his friends.
The Marines are, this whole time, the Marines are after Luffy and them. That's when the Marines show up at Baradier. Luffy's grandpa, he shows up there and he talks to Zeph. He's like, tell me where they're off. But Zeph, he instead he tells him, here, I get you a free meal, I get you all the food and drink you want. He's not gonna tell him where Luffy's at. Kobe and Helmeppo, they get dismissed, but they go to another part of the restaurant where this bar guy is at, and the bartender tells them, yo, I know where they're at, and then those two end up telling the admiral. They pretty much head off to where Luffy's at.
I think that's pretty much the episode 7 in a nutshell.
Episode 8, West in the East. Episode 8 covers anime episodes 38 through 45 and manga chapters 82 through 96. So 8 is the last episode.
This episode kind of really starts out, Luffy's crew goes after Arlong.
Alright, so the fishmen end up burning Nami's entire village.
Luffy and his crew came after Arlong and his crew.
Yeah.
They pretty much, they came and kicked the gate down, and Arlong was like, who will be stupid enough to come to us and challenge us? And Luffy and his crew just came out the dust, and they was like ready, and just pretty much just started kicking everybody's butt.
So the whole gang, like you said, they tear ass. Sanji and Zoro, they go in there and then they just start like beating everybody's ass down. Anybody who stands in the way, they just start chopping them down, kicking them down.
And you got Luffy and Nami go after Arlong.
Yeah.
And then you get to see round 2 of Luffy and Arlong, which that was a good fight. This is probably one of the best fights in this show. Which Luffy had to think pretty smart to beat Arlong in this particular fight. Because, the first fight where he had a pretty hard time of beating him.
Oh, I had forgot about Buggy. Oh, yeah, he runs off.
Yeah,
right?
he doesn't do anything.
Okay,
After he get that body, he up out of there. Back to Luffy and Arlong's fight. I really like that. I like how Luffy started trying to think outside the box on how to beat this guy.
In his first fight with Arlong, Luffy got his ass handed to him, right? So this time, he was trying to figure out Arlong's weakness. At first, Nami was with Luffy, but then Luffy tells Nami to head off. He'll take care of Arlong by himself. But yeah, it was a crazy fight. He ends up doing this like machine gun looking punch thing. That like it's funny.
Yeah, that leg move that he did that took down the whole building.
Yeah, he brings down the whole building on this dude's ass. Yeah,
I think that's his weakness, that he really cared about that place that he was in.
Well, yeah, he's like, no, if I can't take you out,
I'm gonna take down your building.
Yeah, I'm gonna take everything around you out. Because what he cared about was all the maps. So in that room that they're fighting, that's the room that Nami was locked up when she was a child. But also, that's where she was drawing all the map and stuff for Arlong. So Luffy was like, nah, I'm bringing down what's important to your ass. Because you ain't having it.
Right.
Yeah. So he brought all that shit down.
Yeah, that was so cool.
Yeah, that was a crazy fight. It was pretty big.
And then you got Sanji and Zoro fight, have their epic battle with Arlong's right hand man, which he's not a joke himself. Like, he was hard to fight himself.
he looked like a sushi chef.
But it took both of them to take him down. Sanji and Zoro to take down this guy.
So they had a tag team to take this guy out. It was a pretty epic fight scene. So like they're cutting back and forth this whole time. They're cutting back and forth between Zoro and
Sanji.
Zoro and Sanji, the fish crew or the fish pirate crew, and then Luffy is fighting Arlong. So it's a pretty good back and forth action going on. Luffy ends up taking out Arlong.
After he takes out Arlong, his grandpa shows up.
Yeah, that's when the Marines come back in.
Yes, Marines come in, and his grandpa challenges him to see if he really deserves to be a pirate.
Yeah, so this whole time, like, his grandpa didn't want Luffy to become a pirate. He wanted him to become a Marine like him. So he wanted him to be like him, right?
Mm-hmm. He wanted him to be a Marine.
Yeah, he wanted.
So, and he's been trying to change his mind ever since he was a kid.
Yeah.
But just Luffy is just so determined to be a pirate. Yeah, he was like, no, this is why I've been a pirate. There's nothing you can really do about it.
Yeah.
So,
I'm not changing my mind.
No, I'm not changing anything for you or anybody else.
Yeah, and this was his, not final test, but this was a test to his grandpa, I guess, to see.
Well, his final test to his grandpa.
Yeah,
anyway. Grandpa does realize that he's not really going to give up being a pirate, and he pretty much just backs down and just say, hey, yeah, I was just testing you and you passed. But what I realized, that Grandpa is strong, really strong as hell. I know we saw that earlier, but you really see it in this particular fight.
Yeah.
That he's really strong. He got like Superman type powers on this one.
Yeah, no, technically Luffy didn't beat him.
He didn't beat him. Grandpa just said, yeah, I'm just gonna stop. You're not backing down.
Yeah, because like Luffy was trying to do all his rubber gunpowder or whatever, gum rocket, whatever. Also, he calls out all his moves. It's a thing in the anime. Kind of dumb in the live action shit, but whatever. Luffy, if he would, I think if it was a real showdown, at least at this point now, the way Luffy is now, he would have got his ass handed to him by his grandpa.
Yeah, if his grandpa wasn't playing,
he went easy,
challenging him.
Yeah, he went easy.
He would have definitely killed him if he. He could have killed him if he wanted to.
Yeah. So I was surprised. Honestly, yeah, I didn't think this dude had... I didn't think that the grandpa was overpowered like that. I kind of forgot all about that.
No, I was surprised when I first saw it. I was like, "What? Where superpowers come from?"
Yeah, because I did see the anime like a long time ago, but there was so much I forgot about. Who was who, what could do what. I just had an idea of it by this point, but that's pretty crazy. Okay, one thing I forgot to mention is that during the fight between Luffy and his grandpa, is at a moment his grandpa realizes that he reminds him of Gold Roger, right? That Luffy is serious about it. He's not gonna give up what he's doing. So from there, Luffy beat his grandpa. His grandpa, kind of respects him a little bit more. And then we goes to a scene where we finally see Luffy got what he wanted.
Yeah, he got what he wanted. And literally, he is wanted.
Yeah,
by the law now.
You see his mug on a water poster.
Yeah, he was so happy, and everybody that he ever encountered with got to see that he's wanted now.
Yeah, so we see that's what we see. It goes to another scene.
Buggy sees it. Alvida sees it.
Yeah,
the pirate.
Yeah, but Buggy and Alvida are at a bar.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, "I'm gonna kill him" or something, right?
Well, Kaya does see it.
Yeah, Kaya sees
it. The waitress lady in Luffy's village saw that he was on the wanted poster. Also, she had a little nice smile on her face, and also Princess Kaya, and she noticed Usopp in the picture. You gotta see back of his head. But yeah, that was a good thing right there for him.
It's good because they got to see that Luffy got to realize his dream, right?
And so, speaking of dreams, I just noticed about this whole season, I noticed that all Luffy and his crew had a fall in their dream. Like for instance, Luffy wanted to be the kings of the pirates.
We forgot to mention. No, but you gotta mention Shanks.
Why?
Because he's an important part of the story, man. So Shanks got to see Luffy's wanted post. So he saw that he see, oh yeah, the whole crew and him celebrate. The guy who brought him the poster was Mihawk. Yeah, he brought the poster over to Shanks. So all right, my bad. You saying everybody realized their dream.
Everybody realized their dreams. Luffy wanted to be the king of the pirates. You got Sanji. He wants to go find the blue Nami.
She wants to draw the map of the world, right?
Okay. And you got Zoro wants to be the best swordsman in the world.
Kobe, he wants to be a marine, and then you got Helmeppo. He decides he wants to become a good swordsman like Zoro. That kind of ends it to the end credit. But then if you keep watching the end credits, that's when you get into where it shows some guy, he's holding Luffy's wanted poster, where it shows the smoke man. If you had watched the anime, you kind of know he one of the devil fruits, and he has the ability to control smoke. I just call him smoke man. I forgot his name, but that's where it ends, and that's season 1. So going back to the original question,
is this show any good, Tony? What do you think?
Yeah, it's good. I like it.
And I also think it's pretty good.
Yeah, overall it's good. I like
I mentioned earlier when we first started this, that coming from like somebody like me, somebody who's never seen the anime, who's never seen a comic book, I feel like this show is actually pretty good, and I would definitely tune in to second season when it comes out.
The stuff I like about it is overall, I think it sticks very well to the anime and the manga. They did stick to a lot of the original material, but they were able to condense it a whole lot better compared to the anime. In the anime, I went back and I watched some of the episodes. Honestly, I thought I was smoking crack, or I had imagined this whole other thing in my head when I first watched it as a kid. Cause like when I went back and rewatched it now, I was like, man, I honestly didn't like the anime when I watched it back again. At least I tried to watch some of the episodes that the live action was based on, and I prefer the Netflix live action adaptation that came out. Honest opinion about that. So the cast overall, everybody that they got on the cast was pretty good. They were overall good, except for Nami. That is one complaint I got, but that's because I had seen that in Japan a while back ago. Like it was a Japanese commercial where they had live action characters represent what the One Piece characters was, and in that version, those characters overall they look good. But one of the characters that looked real good good was Nami. I like that Nami version. The Nami in Netflix version, she's alright, but she wasn't stacked like the other Nami is. America no ban wa Nami pechapai datta. But her acting was good though. Her acting,
that was really good.
Yeah, she played off her character very well.
She got me to really hate her character at one point, so she did really well on that.
But that's just my point of view. I mean, I don't know if, honestly, this live action version, especially for Netflix, because Netflix does not have a good reputation for doing live actions, because it's not the first live action that they've taken on. There was that Cowboy Bebop. Well, I have not seen that. A lot of people did not like that. Another one was the Death Note. A lot of people didn't like that one either. Netflix has got a bad reputation on anime live action, so, but everyone has their own opinion, right? It just depends however y'all see it. To me, this was a good show. I think y'all need, if y'all haven't watched it, I mean, kind of spoiled it, but y'all should go watch it. But yeah, it's good. It's good stuff.
Okay, guys, this is our conclusion to the One Piece.
Yeah, this has been One Piece season 1. Hopefully it gets another one. Maybe, we don't know.
I think it will. Please like, comment, and subscribe.
Well, you gotta subscribe.
Like, comment, and subscribe, please. Thank you for watching.
All right, later, y'all.